Oh my, that was absolutely beautiful. And what a great reminder, John, that when we're looking around and seeing troubled waters, that there's the possibility of a bridge. So for the most part, we're going to keep everybody's mic muted. That's the way that Zoom keeps from getting into an audio cacophony. But if you would like to unmute your mic right now, I invite you to repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to freedom.
I open myself to freedom.
I know that good is on its way right here, right now.
I know that
God is on its way right here, right now.
Thank you all so very much. And welcome. I'm Reverend Bill Marcioni. Our music today is John Conahan, composer, songwriter, performer, choir director, conductor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and obviously brilliant talent. It was wonderful to have you here. My cohort, Reverend Dave, is on vacation this week. He was supposed to be in Vermont, but that's a thing. So our MC is Breen Rourke, RSCP.
Thanks, Bill. Good morning, everyone. New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers. Welcome each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, wherever you've been, whatever brought you here today, wherever you're going next, we've been waiting for you, and welcome. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our life according to our beliefs. Or, as we like to say around here, our new life begins with a new thought. Take a moment now to silence any unnecessary electronic devices. I've got my phone over here and it's turned off, but my other devices that I need to hear you guys with are not turned off. And we're going to begin our celebration today like we begin everything, with a practical prayer. Our practitioner today is Jo Catanzaro, RSCP. She will lead us in the opening prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Let's relax and into the truth of who we are. Open up to that truth of who we are. There's only one, the source of all that is. One power, one presence, one mind. It is the creative source. It has created each of us from itself. It is all good, harmony, peace, love, and joy. It allows each individual expression of itself, which is us, to use that same power to create our lives. So we are all that one. We are the power of that one. Today, we gather together to celebrate this oneness, to shine as that one and use that power to create our lives, to be forces for good in the world, to create this celebration in word, in song, in love and joy. I'm grateful for this gathering of kindred spirits. So I claim this good for each one here. I allow it, I accept it, and I release my word to the creative law that from the beginning of time has always said yes, and so it is.
Thank you, Jo. So one of the reasons why we do prayer is to bring about a realization of the truth in our lives, and perhaps that manifests as a new experience when we know prayer works. So this is the time we'd like to open up to the community to see if anyone has a prayer work story they'd like to share with us, how prayer is working in your life. you can just raise your hand or wave around or whatever you'd like to do. And you can share your prayer works with us. Who's got a story they want to share? Bill?
I usually don't like doing prayer work stories when I'm doing the talk because it's too much about me. But this one has been years and years. I'll just shut up then. No, this one has been actually many years in the making. As most of you know, we're part of the Emerson Theological Institute, and I have been working towards my doctorate. And this week finished the first draft and the second draft of the dissertation. So this is like on final approach.
Yay.
Thank you.
Prayer works. Annie, did you have your hand up?
I did. So surprise, surprise, it was surrounding prosperity, also known as I'm very frugal. My daughter's car broke, and I talked to a couple mechanics, and they were like, oh, it's usually a cheap part, about $90. And then when I went to a mechanic and I called the actual dealer and a couple other places, it was actually $700 or $800 to fix. And I was like, I can't believe this. So I opened myself to the flow and just that it would work out perfectly. And Kate found the part on Amazon for like a third of the price. Most mechanics won't use somebody else's part, but lo and behold, we found someone who was more than willing and happy to accept all of the money. And then I said, hey, this charge is a little bit higher than some of the other people. And the guy met me in the middle, and everything got fixed, and I didn't have to pay. I saved did not spend 50% more than I thought I was gonna. So that was really good. And I think it also taught my child a lesson that when you call around, people are willing to help you. And that mechanic was also probably happy to have the money. So it felt good to be in the flow, and awesome to have the money in my bank account and not have to worry about using a credit card.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. So prayer works, whether you're getting your car fixed or getting your doctorate. Prayer works. So thanks, everyone. Announcements. Now we're going to have some announcements brought to us by the lovely Sarah.
That's me. Yes, I'm happy to bring us the announcements. Okay. We hold daily online meditation and support calls, which are normally very short, less than about 15 minutes. They include a check-in and meditation on health, harmony, peace, and prosperity. And what's even better is we kind of pick the topic while we're doing it. So if you have something you want to pray about, bring it to the call and we can pray on it. They are held Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 6. It's open to all, and we can use the same Zoom that we got to get here today to get on the calls. Please join us on our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group, which is on meetup.com. It includes all of our programs and is an easy place to let fellow adventurers know you'll be at an event. Our summer class, The Art of Uncertainty, meets on Zoom every other Wednesday from 7 to 9:30. There is still time to join the class before our next one this Wednesday, which is the 8th. Consider learning to love the unknown by staying present in the moment. If recent difficulty has taught us anything, it's that none of us has as much control over our lives as we believe. The only thing we can control is our next thought. I'm loving it so far. Join us. Community Visioning, Taking Action Beyond White Supremacy. It'll be held tomorrow, Monday, July 6th at 7:30. It'll go for about an hour on Zoom. Our community has gathered for 2 weeks for life visioning on how we, individually and together, can move our nation past the experience of white supremacy our society has been mired in. I think that means made up of, but that's a new word to me. Tomorrow we join together to let Spirit guide us to the next steps that are ours to take. All are welcome, even if you're not involved in the earlier sessions. The Women's Circle will meet Thursday, July 23rd by Zoom. Reverend Bill leads the teen group at CSL Delaware, which meets next Thursday, August 6th, and that's also by Zoom, and it's open to all teens. Contact Reverend Bill for details, or Joe or Sandy for the women's group. We gratefully accept donations and payments via credit card or PayPal. You can click the donate button on our website to get there. Oh yes, thanks to all the people who help out to make our Zoom celebrations work. There's a short technical rehearsal on Saturday and then a final check-in right before the celebration on Sunday. If you'd like to take part, contact Reverend Bill. The reverends and practitioners are available for healing prayer sessions. Contact them through the website. After the celebration, the practitioner of the day is available for a short urgent prayer session at no charge. Reach out to Joe through the Zoom chat or email joe@newthoughtphilly.org to set up a brief phone call. We'll leave the Zoom meeting on after the celebration to answer questions and to chit chat. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. And now we would like to take a moment to acknowledge anyone who's here for the first time. We'd like to acknowledge new guests. So I don't see any new names on the participant list. Flames is new, Flame Cam. Although we do have, I know for sure, one new person who's not been with us before, which is John. So John, welcome. Thank you very much. John was one of our musicians at the Higher Vibe Positive Music Festival and did an awesome set. That was so much fun. A lot of energy. I really appreciate it because I mean, I like some mellow, slow stuff, but you brought such soul and rock to it. It was awesome. It was a great set. So thank you very much. All right. So let's welcome each other. And we know what to do. We'll rub our hands together, get some warmth, energy together. And we look around your Brady Bunch and just welcome everyone. You are a bright light of divine love. Thank you for sharing your light with us today, and welcome. All right, so this is the part where we normally hug each other, but we're not doing the hugging thing right now. So you can give yourself a hug, give a virtual hug to other people, look around, wave to folks, say hi. And John is going to regale us with more song.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud
Thank you, John. It's awesome. John just learned that song for us. All right, now we are going to do our lighting of the flames. And we got flame cam. It's got its own cam there. Dina's going to light the flames, and Kathy is going to read.
Okay. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs, practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Dina lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our joke usually when we do get to the reading is to introduce a book. The author passed away decades and decades ago, and we say the author can't be with us. The reading today is from The Art of Joyful Achieving by our friend Joe Mitchell, who is here, not just to do the reading, but to take us through a practice from the book. Joe Mitchell Esquire is a high-performance coach who's logged over 35 years of in-depth study of personal and spiritual development. 2 years after he graduated from Harvard Law School, Joe became a monk, lived in an ashram for 5 years. In his studies over the years, he's done hundreds of self-development courses, spiritual retreats, and health-related workshops. And it's been my pleasure to be friends with Joe Mitchell for decades. His book, The Art of Joyful Achieving, got released, I believe, this week. It is the Amazon #1 bestseller for new acupressure books. And so without further words, and there are plenty of them, just Google Joe sometime. Joe Mitchell.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Yay! I am so happy to be with you today. And I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to get right to it. And I got to set my little timer here. Okay, so we're not going to do a reading today. Okay, what we're going to do instead of a reading is we are going to do some declarations with tapping. How many of you are familiar with tapping? You know, just raise your hand if you're familiar with tapping. Oh, good. Okay, so let me just go over the points really quickly. Okay, we're not going to use all the points today. We're going to do a very abbreviated version. Okay, so around your eyes there's a bone. Everybody put your hands like right on your eyes here. There's a bone right here. Okay, and the same bone is right under the eye. Okay, so you're going to take 2 fingers or 3 fingers, and you're going to tap on the side of the eye in that bone, and then you're going to tap under the eye on that bone. Beautiful, beautiful. The next one is the collarbone. Okay, so put your hands on your collarbone and go right below the collarbone. Okay, like maybe an inch below it, and you're going to tap here. Okay, now these are meridian points, and what this does is this releases all your limiting beliefs, all your fears, all your anxiousness, your pain, all that stuff. It just disappears. Okay, as we tap. Okay, and the last point that we're going to use today is called the karate chop point, and that's on the side of your hand, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to take 3 fingers and you're going to tap on the side of your hand like this, okay? Now, here's the thing. When we do our tapping, we focus on, at least we start on focusing on releasing everything that we don't want, okay? So I'd like you to just take a minute and sit up straight. Reverend Dave, what's up, Reverend Dave? Take a moment and sit up straight and close your eyes. And what we're going to look at is where we are not fully, and I mean fully, expressing ourselves. I want you to look at the places where you have self-rejection, where you maybe have fear of rejection from others. That's a big one. We hold ourselves back because we're afraid of what others might do. Or maybe we're just hesitating because we don't know what's going to happen. Think of something, some place in your life where you're not fully expressing yourself. You're just holding back. You're chained. There's a way in which you're not fully there. It might be in your work. It might be in your relationships. Okay, so whatever you got, feel it in your body. Where is it in your body? Where is that feeling in your body? You're not fully expressed. Okay, great. Now open your eyes, and I want you to keep that feeling in your body and keep that feeling, and I want you to start tapping here on this point. And just tap maybe 2 taps a second, 2 or 3 taps a second, medium pounding, not super pounding, but not too light either. Okay. So what I want you to do now is repeat after me. I deeply and completely accept myself, even though I'm not fully expressing myself. I deeply and completely accept myself, even though I'm not fully expressing myself. And I deeply and completely accept myself, even though I'm afraid to fully express myself. Okay, now open your eyes, tap along with me now, side of the eye. I'm not fully expressed. Underneath the eye, I'm not fully expressing myself. Collarbone point, I'm not fully expressing myself. Not fully expressing myself. And then put your hand here. Take a deep breath. So now we're going to turn that around, okay? I would do something much longer, but we're going to keep it brief and short here. So now I want you to say, I deeply and completely accept myself, and I am free to love and to shine. I deeply and completely I accept myself, and I am free to love and to shine. I deeply and completely accept myself, and I am free to love and to shine. Okay, side of the eye. I'm free to love and to shine. I'm free to love and to shine. Under the eye, I'm free to love and to shine. Feel yourself shining. I'm free to love and to shine. Feel that shiningness. Collarbone point. I'm free to love and to shine. And I know that my good is on its way to me right now. And so it is. And just close your eyes for a second and feel that light coming out of you. Feel yourself shining. And say thank you to the divine, to God, to love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel that love inside you, radiating out to everyone and everything. And then open your eyes. And thank you very much. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks, Joe. To follow with that, this is a song about being open to connecting. I've never seen the moon rise like the ones I see through your eyes. Every time I try to break away, you find somehow to sit and stay. Can't you ever leave a man alone? Leave his heart to form a solid stone. I will never understand the day you saved me like a runaway, quick and stealthy like a surgeon's cut from a man whose life was boarded shut. Quick and fall into my life again, and you're really never just a friend. No, I never wanted nothing but to be somebody's something, just to wake up every day knowing I found a way to a happy ever after, full of kindness and laughter. I found you. People running for the race again. It's time to set this pace we're in, but just slow the hurry time. Just your breathing is a rhyme, and it's all that I can do not to fall in love with you. So we finally steal away, and you listen close to stay. How could anything be lost to me when you keep your living just as free? Such a fleeting thing, this thing romance. Won't you give yourself another chance? No, I never wanted nothing but to be somebody's something, just to wake up every day knowing I found a way for a happy ever after, full of kindness and laughter. I found you. There are words to form a prayer from the stars or anywhere, just to wake up every day without a penance or a sin. Hold on tight, my love, and let's begin again. No, I never wanted nothing but to be somebody's something, just to wake up every day knowing I found a way for a happy ever after, full of kindness and laughter.
Can't hear you, Bill.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes.
Well, then I will repeat the thanks to John, because that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. And this morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story about a young man named Robert Hemings. Robert was 14 years old. He was in Philadelphia the spring and summer of 1776. And he was, as they say, in the room where it happened. Thomas Jefferson was writing the Declaration of Independence, and among other things wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident." And by the way, if you're ever in a position where you can start a statement by saying, "We hold these truths to be self-evident," it really makes it difficult for people to argue with what you're going to say, because you have to say, no, that's not self-evident, before you can start arguing with what they said next. And Jefferson wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." And that was powerful. That was very powerful. It's in the Declaration of Independence, and it was a claim that he wrote down at the boarding house where he was living at 7th and Market. I love being in Philadelphia on the 4th of July, by the way, because all the rest of the country, they say that Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence in Philadelphia. And we know that it was at 7th and Market, and it has some relevance for us. But Robert Hemings was in the room with Thomas Jefferson because he was there to take care of Thomas Jefferson and make sure that all of his needs were being met. And the reason was because Robert Hemings was a slave, and he was owned by Thomas Jefferson, one of the 130 or so from Monticello. And he was selected to go take care of Jefferson while he did what he was doing. And in those days, that was perfectly okay. And in fact, Robert Hemings' mother was a slave owned by Jefferson's wife's father, so Jefferson's father-in-law. And he had actually been sired by Jefferson's wife's father. So it would have been his brother-in-law, except the law said that he wasn't a human, so it was just more property. And when I think about the story, there was no consent in that relationship. His mother had nothing to say about whether or not she was going to have any sort of interaction with the man who owned her. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And Thomas Jefferson knew that was aspirational when he wrote it. He wanted it to be true. He acknowledged at the time that it wasn't true. He tried to sneak in a whole thing into the Declaration about slavery, but it didn't work. It got edited out. And fast forward to today, when we're dealing with all kinds of trouble in our world. There's trouble with a coronavirus, a pandemic where the United States, #1 in the world. Great for us. And we've also got huge issues that have come to light about our racial inequality. New Thought Philadelphia has been doing visioning for the last couple of weeks about moving beyond white supremacy. And I have to thank Joe Mitchell, who had wonderful insight about exactly what to call it, because the words that we use are very important. And it's not racial equality, it's moving beyond white supremacy, because that's where our problem has been. And it's so systemic, and it's so baked into our country. And we keep on saying things that make it seem like it's going to get better, and then we pull up halfway. The 13th Amendment that abolished slavery leaves it in place for prisoners. So somebody who's in jail can actually be treated as a slave. And as a result, we have a huge prison population that we're treating as slaves, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't want to just be a downer today. As John sang in the first song, there's a bridge over troubled water, and we're looking at the troubled water, and instead of looking at the troubled water, we get to look at the bridge. The morning meditations, morning and afternoon meditations that we do, they're a huge uplift for me because we get together on the call and whoever's there talks about the experiences that they've been having. Sometimes somebody has something specific that they want to have a meditation on because there's an issue that's come up. And other times it's just conversation and we are guided to a topic and a focus that's absolutely wonderful. And it's happening more and more, and it's getting really deep and it's getting really powerful. One of the ones that came up earlier this week was about having things going on in the world around us that we are not happy with. And how do we deal with that? And the notion of tolerance came up. And there's actually a statue in Wissahickon in the park. It's overlooking the creek there. It's the toleration statue. And the idea of tolerance is to allow people with differing ideas to coexist with us. And on the one hand, that's a wonderful idea. But there's an implication sometimes in tolerance is that I'm still not going to like it. So what I'm going to do by being tolerant is I'm going to sit here being angry or unhappy, but not saying anything about it. We got to say something about it. There are things that need to be said. Our whole teaching is about setting a new intention, having a new thought, inviting a new experience, and then allowing spirit to create that new experience with us and for us and through us. And that's not tolerance. Tolerance is being maybe a little bit patient while the story comes around, while things happen. The image came to me of turning a ship, one of those big ocean liners, like an enormous hotel floating on the water. And what happened, they take a long time to turn. If it's going east and you want to have it go west, they got to turn and it takes a long time for it to come around. But the first thing that you need to do is decide you want to turn. And after deciding that you want to turn, somebody needs to turn the trim tabs or needs to turn the wheel or the rudder, and then it starts turning. Then it starts turning. So on the one hand, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a big, big ship that has been sailing for 400 years, and it's the white supremacy ship. And if we want to change that, and I'm making the assumption that we do want to change that, and there's a whole bunch of discussion that we can have on exactly what it is and what it looks like and how it all goes together. But if we want to change that, the best time to change it is August of 1619. The next best time to change it is now. Because until we turn the wheel, we get to continue moving on the same course that we've been on. And being able to give voice to something is really important. And remembering the other words that have been said is really important. There are so many gifts, there are so many brilliant minds and creative people and powerful leaders who have spoken to us and for us and through us for years and for decades, centuries. Martin Luther King in 1963 said, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today." There's no way I can disagree with that. The content of our character, that's who we are. That's how we want to be evaluating each other. So let's give that some legs today, because I have a dream that someday puts it off. And I'm intolerant. Personally, I'm done waiting. Let us claim that for today. I know that beginning today, all people will be judged by the content of their character and not by whatever the external superficials happen to be, especially the color of their skin. Enough is enough. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Wearing a mask proves that you care about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Think about that. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If we wear a mask while we're out and run the possibility of getting close to other people, we could save their life. We could save our life. and look at it in the broader scale. Maybe it's not going to happen to you specifically. Maybe you're not going to ever have personal contact with the COVID-19 situation, but we don't know. So let us do what we can do to preserve life, because on the grand scheme of things, we've got millions of people and tens of thousands of deaths, and life is going on. So that is about life. Wear a mask. And liberty, yeah, you're free to choose whether or not to wear a mask. So choose to wear a mask, because then you can be free to go about your business, and we can be free of the pandemic. Eventually it will be over. Eventually we will get past it. In the meantime, wear a mask, because that's the difference between being on lockdown and not. Same thing about the pursuit of happiness. Wearing a mask proves you care about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So on this Independence Weekend, we get to make some great new choices and set some wonderful new invitations about the ship that we're on and about the direction that we're going to be sailing. We get to be intentional. We get to choose, because it all happens in consciousness. It all begins in consciousness. So until somebody decides that we want to turn the ship, nobody's going to go near the trim tabs. Nobody's going to turn the wheel. Nobody's going to do anything. Is that stuff for us to do? Do we have to do the actual work? Maybe, maybe not. But things can change. I know that I would not have imagined 6 months ago that the Confederate flag would be gone, not just from NASCAR, but from the state flag of Mississippi. We used to live in Florida, so I spent a fair amount of time at Disney, and loved Splash Mountain, but it was completely inappropriate. It's about the movie Song of the South, which is a racist movie. And just all the characters that were in Splash Mountain were unacceptable. Disney is redecorating Splash Mountain. They're taking away the Song of the South theme and making it be about a different movie. And I've seen Disney do that with different rides over the years, and they do a masterful job, and it's not going to lose anything. It's going to gain something by taking away that blemish. Disney is turning the wheel. They're turning the wheel, and they're moving the ship, and they're aiming in a different direction. And we get to bless them for doing that. And we get to do stuff too. We get to change anything. We get to change everything. We look at technology and the way that we're interacting with each other these days. Yeah, there's very, very narrow focus. There's the echo chamber where people are only hearing news and information from people who agree with them and believe the same things that they believe. Let's change that from they to we, because everybody is susceptible to it. Everybody has the possibility of hearing stuff from the people who they already know and amplifying it and letting it go around and around in circles. On the one hand, that's a challenge. That can be a difficulty. And that same technology can let us be aware of what's really going on in the world around us. Cell phone videos have made a huge, huge difference in the way that we are aware of what's going on in the world. From the incidents that we're protesting about, to the protests about the incidents, to the way that we're engaging with the rest of the world around us. This period of time is the first time that we have ever all been aware of the same things going on simultaneously. We know what's going on with the pandemic in South Korea. We can watch in real time on the dashboard with the numbers. We can understand what people are doing. We can dive in and get whatever depth we want. And we can use that same technology to find out more about ourselves. Read the 1619 Project. It's a New York Times magazine. A series of essays, including a Pulitzer Prize-winning lead story. And I think it's impossible to go through that if you're not a scholar, having studied these things before, and not learn something new. So why is it important to do that? Well, if you don't know where you are, you don't know, you don't know what course you've been on, you don't know how to change it. How has this ship been sailing so far? And aspirationally, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And oh, by the way, all women and men are created equal. And oh, by the way, gay and straight and trans, and that doesn't matter either. All humans are created equal. So there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of change to happen. And each of us individually and all of us together are in a perfect position because nobody knows how this is going to change. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. Nobody knows what it's going to be like to move beyond this 400 years of experience in this country. But by working in consciousness first, by inviting that next new experience, by letting freedom mean something different in 2021 than it meant in 2020, than it meant in 1963, and meant in 1965 or 1865. By setting the intention to have that change happen, we invite the change, we allow the change, we get to participate in the change. And it works for global and national and local and individual activities. Now more than ever is an opportunity for you to be that bright light of God's love and let it shine in a way that's new and wonderful. Let this be uplifting. Let all of the things that seem to be challenges in your life be indicators about where you want the ship to be moving. And set the intention, dig into prayer, meditate on it, invite it, allow it, and then let the light shine. Because we deserve to have our light shining. You deserve to have your light shining because you are a gift. So it is. Thank you.
Let us break bread together in the silence of our own. Let the honesty close another wound. Let us all thank the mothers for the days we're given to. Let us all come together soon. May the sun in its grandeur be the labor of our lives. May our penance come to us in rhyme. When the water
Thank you, John. And now we'll have some meditation from Joan.
Okay. While Luke gets our meditation music started, just going to say that this will be a passage meditation. I came across 13th century Persian poet Sadi, not Rumi, Sadi. And I felt this was pretty appropriate for today. So let's get settled in our chairs, get comfortable. If possible, get your feet flat on the floor, sit straight up, and just try to relax all of your muscles. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths and feel or imagine yourself being really rooted in the earth. Rooted in the earth and extending consciousness up into the heavens, into the sky. We'll start by taking one slow deep breath together. Breathe in, hold it at the top. Exhale. Once more. Breathe in. Hold it briefly at the top. And exhale. And one final breath. Hold it at the top. And exhale. Just allow yourself to relax and open to these words. The children of Adam are limbs to each other, having been created of one essence. The children of Adam are limbs to each other, having been created of one essence. And let's continue to just take some slow, deep breaths, thinking about that one essence that joins all of us together, each and every one of us. To focus on the breath, just allow any other thoughts to float freely through your mind. No attachment, no engagement. And ponder that we are all created from the one. And we share the same essence that links us together. Just breathe mindfully. Breathe in that essence. Breathe out that connection. The children of Adam are limbs to each other, having been created of one essence. Just follow the breath. In and out. float on that wave of breath in and out.
We are all that one essence. There's only one essence. There's only one source. There is only one infinite intelligence, one power. We call it nature. We call it Spirit. We call it God. We call it the Big Bang. We call it the Creator. Whatever it is that we call it, it's that one from which everything flows. That one which expresses and shows itself as all of its creation. Everything, everywhere, every moment, every activity, every situation, every circumstance is that divine God essence, revealed in a new and special and specific way. Since I know that's true everywhere, I know that's true right here, right now. That's the truth of me and each one listening to the sound of my voice. I know that's true of each one everywhere. And so in this awareness, I claim right here and right now that whenever there is an idea of otherness, of separation between that which I am and that which I observe, each one of us opens even a little more fully to the awareness that there is only one. And that idea of otherness vanishes in that bright light of truth, that there is only the one love shining as each of us individually. It is not other, it is individual. It is we taking form in the ways that we do. So there is love unfolding, there is good expressing, there is intelligence being revealed through and in and as each of us and all of us. And this is how love unfolds. This is how the bright light shines. This is how goodness reveals itself even more deeply in our experience. So I'm grateful for all of the good that's coming forward. I'm grateful for the intentions that each of us are setting, the powerful, positive, personal, and present tense intentions that we are setting to have that dream, to let it begin right now. And so with gratitude for all this good that's even now on the way, I speak this word of intention and I release it to that same creative law. The creative law that always responds in the positive, it always says yes. It's taking these ideas, these invitations, these intentions, and it's saying yes. I let it be. This word is spoken, and so it is. Amen. Make sure you go ahead and take another deep breath. Let yourself be filled. Let it go. Bring some motion back to your fingers and toes. Shrug your shoulders. Do a little chair boogie. And bring your attention back into your room as John does another song for us.
I'm sure no religious man, but I'm praying there's a time when I'll give up my regrets, when I'll leave it all behind. I'll greet each new day as clean. Never jaded with my past. And I will greet the morning sun. I won't feel the need to run. I'll breathe in calm at last. And I'm hoping that this day is nearer than farther off. I'm hoping that you'll say this is not impossible. Just move on at last. I can't find my way back home to the place where I'm free, where I'll laugh without a care, and I'll recognize it's me. 'Cause that man there in the glass, he sure looks old, he's full of fear. He never thinks to roll in the grass. He's sure forgotten what is best. I feel like it's getting worse every year. Yeah, well, I'm hoping that this day is gonna be nearer than farther off. I'm hoping that you'll say that it's never impossible. You just gotta move on at last. Just reach out. Reach out for yourself. Learn to let go. Let go for yourself. Figure out how to forgive. Oh, just forgive yourself. Leave it all, leave it all, leave it all, leave it all, leave it all behind. 'Cause I'm sure no religious man, but I'm sure praying there's a time when I'll give up my regrets, when I'll leave it all behind.
Beautiful. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I'm going to go as far as to congratulate Dina, who's our music director, on booking you. It's wonderful. So this is the part of the program we call the Wisdom Share, where the posse is the preacher, as our friend Joni likes to say. So if there is anything that has come up for you, any new truth that has become evident that you'd like to give voice to, this is an opportunity to do that now. Just raise your hand, unmute your mic, and this is a chance to share. Sandy.
Woo, boy, I'm like, my heart is pounding. I want to thank John. Your beautiful self-expression is so inspiring to me. And Joe, just seeing your face as you were leading that tapping also inspired me. So I feel like, I hope I can say this in a way that makes sense, but what I understood had to do with new thought and has to do with race. My experience is that when I hear about, you know, letting white supremacy go, and I think about the privilege that I have in my life, I always come down to a place of feeling like, is there anything that I'm benefiting from this whole white supremacy? And I know that I have this most amazing lifestyle. I am so comfortable. And I know that in part, that is because of the system in place that has hurt some people and benefited me and other people. So when it really comes right down to it, I'm not so affected by taking a Confederate flag down, but I am very affected if it's going to influence my comfortable lifestyle. And what is it that it's going to take for me to let go of possibly what it is that I have in order for there to be a more equitable distribution and for other people to have what they need? And so what I come to is new thought. And the reason that I'm attracted to new thought is because we always talk about we're all one, we're all this, you know, we're all from that one thing, from that one love. And it sounds good to me, but I don't experience that. And I'm here because I want to experience it, because I really want to know that what happens to any person on this planet also happens to me, that I am truly affected by what happens to anybody, so that when it comes to that, creating that equitable distribution, I know that everybody is going to benefit, including me. Even if I have to let go of something, I'm going to gain something else. Because probably on some psychic level, I have been influenced by the pain and suffering of other people, even though my physical situation is so comfortable. So I really want to know that experience of we're all one, because to me, that is the only way that things are going to change. If we really know that each one of us is exactly part of that same thing, and that anything that affects one affects everybody. So I'm here at New Thought for that. I want to know that experience. I want to know that we're really all connected, not just a bunch of words. So thank anybody who is supporting me in getting to know that more. So that's it.
Thank you, Sandy. Yeah, and in New Thought, we actually get to take it a step further, because the idea that once the goodies are redistributed, that there will not be enough for me or for somebody else, that's the part that's not true. It's an infinitely abundant universe. It is possible for the inequality of distribution to go away and still have enough for everybody. Great statistic. There are so many abandoned houses in the United States that every homeless person could have 6 of them. There's not a problem with not enough housing, there's a problem with distribution. So when we open ourselves up to, how do we want to do this differently? Or just that we want to do it differently, that we want to turn the ship. And we don't have to necessarily be headed for, you know, to ground it on land or for a reef. We can sail free again. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Anybody else? Breen.
I started with the meditation and thinking about Adam and the idea of first man. And I've been thinking about anthropology and sociology and race and, how we evolved as a species, and the idea that, we are one and we all came from the one. And also we're one species that evolved, and then we took over the planet. And I just had this idea that we're the only species that did that. Other species have natural predators and natural enemies. We are our own natural enemy, it seems like sometimes. And I have this vision in my mind of us moving forward as a human race, getting beyond race, gender, whatever else, like Bill was saying, some of that outside stuff, getting beyond, this nationalistic, especially around this time of year. I used to be very, very, very patriotic. America, yeah. And it's, as I think more and more about the founding of our country and the growth of our nation and our impact on the world, I starting to look at things a little sideways. But I have this vision of our continued evolution as a race, getting beyond borders, getting beyond gender, getting beyond all the separation, economically, whatever it is, till we really are that one global human race and are concerned about each other and not about ourselves. So that's what I took from that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Breen. Anybody else? Something to share? Then it's Sarah's turn.
All right. New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen. You can unmute if you want, and we can say it all together. I live in an abundant universe. I am one
with the infinite source of all good.
I am a
At the
center
center of conscious prosperity.
I
I enjoy the richness of life.
I bless my
With my
gift.
gift,
I share my gift.
my gift with gratitude and joy.
I know that as I
As I
give,
give,
I
I
do.
do receive.
And so it is.
So it is.
It is.
One more song from John.
And this is about living in a world that has moved past white supremacy. Let's get there as fast as we can. Way over yonder is a place that I know where I can find shelter from the hunger and cold and the sweet taste and good life so easily found way over yonder. Yeah, that's where I'm bound. That's where I'm bound. I know when I get there, the first thing I'll see is the sun shining golden, shining right down on me. And I know trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind, and I'll stand up around it with a true peace of mind. Talking about way over yonder. some long ago dream. And maybe tomorrow, yeah, we can all find our way to the land where the honey runs, honey runs, honey runs like rivers each and every day. And the sweet tasting good life for everyone so easily found. Yeah, way over yonder, way over yonder. That's where I'm, that's where I'm, that's where I'm bound. Way over yonder. That's where I'm bound. That's where I'm bound.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, John. And thank you for all of the gifts that go into circulation, uplifting our community, each of us individually, all of us together, and the gifts that are transforming the world. So one last moment of cacophony. Go ahead and unmute your microphone, reach out for the soul of the person in the square next to you and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open
Open
myself
myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I
Open
open
myself to joy.
I am the love.
I
I
am
am the love.
I am the joy.
I am
am the
joy.
I am the light,
I am
I
the
am
light.
the light,
and I shine.
and I shine.
And so it is.
So it
It
is.
is.
Thank you so much. Yeah, stick around, get yourself some coffee. We'll have a chat. And Joe is available for urgent prayer in the, I don't know, phone call or in the breakout room or something like that.
Oh yeah. Look at the breakout room.
Yay.
John, thank you so much. Wonderful having you here.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
John.